can remember. I'd like to say I'm not a violent man. That trouble just has a way of finding me. But I'd be lying. Doesn't matter where I go. How far I run. Death's always waiting. Just not for me. Cause I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
Marvel's Wolverine is finally here with a real gameplay reveal, and it looks brutal in the best way. Insomniac Games is behind it, the same studio that nailed Spider-Man, but this isn't a clean superhero story. It's violent, raw, and built around Logan's search for answers about a past full of betrayal and blood. The trailer shows him tearing through enemies with claws that don't hold back. One scene even has him driving them straight through a skull. Combat feels heavy and savage, like every hit carries weight. But it's not just about fighting. The game takes Wolverine across places like Madripoor, Tokyo, and the wilds of Canada, giving it a mix of neon streets, shadowy labs, and harsh wilderness. It's not just Logan against random thugs either. We saw Mystique, Omega Red, Sentinels, and even the Reavers step into the picture. That already hints at a bigger X-Men connection, but still focused tightly on Wolverine's own story of trauma and survival. Visually, it has that sharp, grounded look Insomniac is known for, with darker tones compared to Spider-Man. You feel the grit, the blood, the loneliness of Logan's world, but it still manages to look stylish and cinematic at the same time. Marvel's Wolverine is set to release in fall 2026, exclusively on PS5.
Every time the sun dies, time stretches and tears.
Scan for Soltari signals.
Signal corrupted. Approximating.
Is that the thing from the ridge?
Confirmed.
You better stay out of my way.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. Today we are thrilled to show off this first look of gameplay for Saros running on PS5. Saros builds on Returnal's award-winning action and tells the emotional and haunting story of Arjun Devraj's drive for answers on the shape-shifting planet of Carcosa. Here we show off one of our exciting combat features, the Soltari Shield. By holding R1, you can defend yourself and absorb projectiles. By absorbing projectiles, you can now hit back hard using your power weapon. By holding the adaptive trigger on L2, you'll be able to destroy enemies using Eclipse-driven weaponry.
Mark it on the map.
Here is a Soltari hololog, where you can learn more about lost Carcosa.
I'll try to forget.
Hold on for me. I will find you. I promise.
This is Second Chance, where you can be revived on first death to get straight back into the action. Second Chance is part of our permanent progression systems, which means you will always come back stronger.
Saros is the new project from Housemarque, the team that made Returnal, and it feels like they're taking everything they learned and pushing it further. You play as Arjun Devraj, a Soltari enforcer stranded on a planet called Carcosa, a world that literally reshapes itself every time you die. One run might lead you through ancient ruins, the next through neon alien biomes under a permanent eclipse. Gameplay keeps Housemarque's bullet hell DNA, but adds new systems. You're mixing Soltari weapons with Carcosan alien tech, and your right arm becomes a power weapon that can unleash devastating blasts. The key mechanic is the Soltari shield. You hold it up to absorb incoming projectiles, then release all that energy back at enemies. It's a clever risk-reward system that makes each fight feel dynamic. Unlike Returnal's pure roguelike structure, Saros gives you progression that sticks. Upgrades to your loadout, weapons, and suit carry over between runs, so dying isn't a complete reset. It feels like they want players to grow stronger over time without losing that unpredictability. Visually, it's running an Unreal Engine 5 at 60 frames per second, with environments that shift on the fly. Crumbling ruins, alien wilderness, glowing landscapes. The action looks chaotic but clean, with particle effects filling the screen and combat that demands constant focus. Saros launches on March 20th, 2026, exclusively for PS5 with enhancements for PS5 Pro.
Citizens of Pywell, today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written by our own hand.
We fight those who wield power to prey on the weak. Beasts who think themselves men. That is what it means to be a Freeman. The time has come to do what we believe to be right. Cliff, seek out your Greymane comrades. Uncover the truth that lies within, and let your heart speak without fear.
In the end, all will come together as one.
We fight for the future of all. Sound the horn of our final battle. Fight! Fight for Pywell!
Your fight is not for revenge, nor glory, nor pride.
This is your end.
Remember who you are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
Crimson Desert looks like the kind of ambitious open world that dreams of epicness. You're Cliff McDuff, a mercenary caught in the middle of political chaos and mystical dangers across the fantasy continent of Pywell. The king's in a coma, factions are rising, threats from old magic lurk in the shadows. Your job is to navigate all that, survive, and shape your path. Gameplay mixes big open-world exploration with punchy action. You'll ride your horse across battlefield plains, traverse forests, storm fortresses, and maybe scale cliffs or swing across gaps. Combat feels heavy but fluid. Sword swings, combos, maybe magic or special tools. There's also sandbox stuff. Alchemy, fishing, side quests, world interaction beyond just combat. Visually, it's strong. The Black Space engine is at work, delivering detailed environments, lighting, big vistas. The trailers show sweeping landscapes, dense forests, war-torn zones. It's going for that "this world feels alive" vibe. Crimson Desert is set to release March 19th, 2026 on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X/S. And you can pre-order now for bonus gear like the Khaled shield and special armor sets.
Hostiles inbound. 100 meters in closing.
I got 2. East side.
Moving right to left.
I got 3 west side.
Frame shoot. On the T of execute. 3, 2, 1. Execute.
The world as it's commonly known has crumbled. Alliances that held since the end of World War II, gone.
Dagger, this is Pax's ballsiest play yet.
If they succeed, they will have secured the most strategic rock in the history of warfare. Want to help our friends take back this rock?
They're playing a dangerous game, no doubt about it. Wouldn't be Dagger without insurmountable odds.
The whole world's gonna look different now. Just takes a little shake of perspective.
Gotta love a challenge.
Stand by for re-attack call.
Light them up! We gotta move! Woo! Hold on!
Kincaid will pay for this.
But we don't know how high it goes.
You trying to start a war with the CIA?
That is not the fucking question!
This is it. I know what I gotta do.
Battlefield 6 is bringing the series back with a proper campaign and a sharper focus on tactical warfare. You step into Dagger 13, an elite Marine Raider squad tasked with stopping Pax Armada, a private military force trying to reshape global power as NATO collapses. The story takes you across the globe, from Brooklyn streets to tank battles by the pyramids, with set pieces that lean into scale and spectacle. Gameplay feels more strategic this time. You can switch between squad members and issue real-time commands, flank enemies, suppress positions, or push forward. The classic class system is back too, with Assault, Support, Recon, and Engineer each playing their role in both campaign and multiplayer. Destruction is a headline feature again, but instead of just chaos everywhere, it's more tactical. Walls break, buildings crumble, and it changes how you approach fights. Multiplayer keeps that large-scale Battlefield identity. Vehicles, infantry, all-out war, and they're even bringing back Operation Firestorm, a fan-favorite map rebuilt for the new engine. Visually, it's Frostbite pushing the series to look sharper than ever, and with PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements, it'll run smoother and look even bigger on next-gen hardware. Battlefield 6 launches October 10th, 2025, on PS5, Xbox Series X&S, and PC.
Another world snuffed from existence.
Our focus, our true objective, is to save this world, our current world.
Need I remind you that tampering with history is strictly forbidden?
faced my past. Let's go.
Today, you'll pay your dues!
Code Vein 2 is back to build on the anime Souls formula of the first game, and this time the stakes are even higher. Humanity's uneasy coexistence with revenants is collapsing, as a new threat called Luna Rapacis corrupts them into monstrous horrors. You step in as a revenant hunter, sent back in time 100 years to change the past and prevent the end of the world. The story brings in new characters like Lavinia, who sets you on this mission, Josie, who aids you in the old timeline, and Lou, a mysterious girl tied to temporal powers. It's a mix of personal drama and high fantasy apocalypse, delivered in that stylized anime tone fans of the original will recognize. Combat is faster and sharper this time. Alongside returning weapon types like one-handed swords, halberds, and heavy blades, you now get rune blades and dual swords, expanding the options for both speed and precision. The blood-draining mechanics return with new twists, and Forma abilities let you infuse attacks with elemental power, cause status effects, or even reshape how your combos flow. Partners also play a bigger role. You can summon them in battle or assimilate their power directly for enhanced attacks. The hook is that your actions in the past ripple forward, changing the present timeline. That adds a layer of narrative consequence on top of the already challenging gameplay. Code Vein 2 releases January 30th, 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X&S, and PC. Halloween the game takes the classic slasher formula and turns it into both a horror story and a multiplayer experience. Developed by Ilphonic, the team behind Friday the 13th, it puts you right in Haddonfield on the night Michael Myers comes home. The hook is that it isn't just multiplayer. There's a full single-player mode that lets you step through key moments inspired by the original films, adding narrative weight to the bloodshed. But the multiplayer is where it shines. One player becomes Michael Myers, stalking through houses and streets, using his powers to close distance and ambush victims. Survivors scramble to stay alive, searching homes for weapons, alerting neighbors, calling the police, or just hiding and hoping he passes by. The gameplay loop mixes stealth, tension, and sudden bursts of violence. Michael has his trademark unstoppable feel, with abilities like Shape Jump that let him appear where survivors least expect. Survivors have to think smart, coordinate, and use the town's layout to their advantage. Visually, Haddonfield looks eerie and alive. Quiet suburbs with lights flickering, NPCs reacting, and that heavy atmosphere of dread. It captures the tone of Halloween perfectly, from the streets to the interiors, backed by chilling sound design. Halloween launches September 8th, 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X&S, and PC.
You actually want to deploy her? You cannot be serious.
Cascade is one of our most highly trained operants.
She's been shelved for 5 years. The parties marked her as a failure.
She won't have to do it alone. Her old squad is still out there.
I thought they'd all been ripped to shreds.
Probably. But she can scrape what's left of them back together. Lead them to their deaths all over again.
And what if she butchers it like last time?
We'll do what we always do. Throw more assets at the problem. We have plenty more.
guess. She's a pathetic, fragile embarrassment. And her methods are so unhinged.
But they get results, no?
Long-range missiles get results.
Show a little faith. We're at the end of history. Everything that could go wrong already has.
Zero Parades for Dead Spies is the next big narrative RPG from Zom, the team behind Disco Elysium, and it swaps political philosophy for Cold War paranoia. You play as Herschel, a broken spy haunted by his past, forced back into a world where trust doesn't exist and every move feels like it could be your last. The game leans heavily into dialogue and choice. Dramatic encounters pause the world, slow down time, and let you roll the dice on big decisions, whether you bluff your way through, fight back, or collapse under pressure. The twist is that failure doesn't end the story. It's built on a failing forward system where mistakes simply open new paths, often darker and more complicated than success. Mechanics dig into your character's mind. The conditioning system works like Disco Elysium's thought cabinet, letting you develop certain ideas that shape Herschel's behavior, stats, and even dialogue. You can also push exertion to improve your odds in dice rolls, at the risk of burning out or losing control. It makes every choice carry weight. Visually, it's surreal and dense, an isometric spy world full of rusted streets, smoky rooms, and dreamlike imagery. The style keeps that strange, art-driven feel ZA/UM is known for, but it's wrapped in the aesthetics of espionage rather than existential philosophy. Zero Parades for Dead Spies launches in 2026 for PS5 and PC. Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered brings one of the series' most iconic entries back, rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5. Originally released in 2001, this was the game that really defined the Muso formula, one warrior cutting through thousands on sprawling battlefields, and now it's been modernized while keeping that same energy. The remaster includes both the base game and the Extreme Legends expansion, which means all the extra scenarios, weapons, challenge modes, and officers are here from day one. Over 40 playable officers have been remade, with updated visuals and smoother controls to fit modern systems. Gameplay is still that 1 versus 1,000 spectacle, but with refined movement, sharper combat, and new polish across battlefields. Classic systems like true Muso attacks and officer development return, but everything feels tighter and more responsive. The battle maps you remember, massive sieges, mountain passes, chaotic war zones, are all rebuilt with upgraded lighting and detail. It's both a nostalgia trip and a modern revival, designed for fans who grew up with it and for players who've only known newer Warriors titles. Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered launches March 19th, 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Nintendo Switch, and Switch 2. Deus Ex Remastered is bringing back one of the most influential RPGs of all time, rebuilt for a modern audience. Originally released in 2000, the game set the standard for immersive sims, letting players choose how to approach missions with stealth, hacking, combat, and dialogue. Now it's being modernized by Aspyr in collaboration with Eidos Montreal, and it looks sharper than ever. The remaster upgrades everything visually. Character models have been rebuilt, textures upscaled, lighting and shadows reworked, and even lip syncing added to dialogue. Menus and UI have been refined, and controller support has been overhauled to feel natural on PS5 and PC. There are also quality of life features like autosaves, faster loading, and achievement tracking, so the game finally plays as smooth as people remember it. Deus Ex Remastered launches February 5th, 2026 on PS5 and PC. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is finally landing on PlayStation. On PS5, it takes full advantage of the DualSense. Adaptive triggers, gyro controls for tilting the aircraft, a touchpad for quick inputs, even ATC chatter coming through the controller speaker. If you're on PS5 Pro, expect sharper visuals and smoother performance. VR support is also coming in 2026 with a free PSVR 2 update, letting you step fully into the the cockpit. And if you pre-order on PS5, you'll get the Northrop T-38A Talon jet as a bonus. Flight Simulator 2024 launches December 8th, 2025 on PS5.